Pollicy works at the intersection of data, design, and technology. Our work spans across the use and implementation of technology and data to engineer social change. As a feminist civic tech organization, we are documenting experiences of women online as a pathway for us to co-create an equitable internet ecosystem. Pollicy started as a civic tech organization, like I've mentioned. The idea was that there was a bit of frustration in as much as receiving government services, but the frustration was stemming from there wasn't streamlined ways to give feedback to government about the services that we're providing. So our very first project was Wetase, where we created a chatbot and an open source platform for citizens to access any information on safe migration, from as easy as where do I get a passport? Do I need a visa? Where do I get a visa from? Which companies are licensed? Because that was a lacking issue. We've always worked on information. We did a project, that project Create Your Kampala, where we're reminding citizens of their civic rights and duty to hold their leaders accountable and ask questions. So what we did with that project, we did a research on what the citizens' perceptions were on service delivery, but also what was their role, to understand what they thought was their role.
So you'll find that our community-based projects, such as Vote Women, the program on the future of work, it's based on communities who are practicing different ways of working, and it's also based on people who've not ordinarily been able to have first-hand trainings.
We've grown as an organization from a 30-people organization at the Design Hub in Kampala, a small cubicle, to an office that now has, or an organization that has close to 30 staff across the continent and outside of the continent.
Our research projects have grown. We have now more impact research projects which are building a greater evidence that's being utilized across the continent.
So there's been growth in all facets, from the numbers, from growth in terms of our content, and growth in terms of being taken up, our work being taken up in the community.
Where do I see Pollicy in the next 7 years? I think for me, the agenda for Pollicy continues to enlarge. So beyond East Africa, we moved to Africa, and now I'm hoping that we start to influence policy and digital security, data and technology development on a global scale. So for me, the idea of collaborations with global entities is one that would delight the journey that Pollicy is taking.
We shall be leading conversation in data, tech and design. We shall be having more African actors on board, more governments using data and evidence to craft policies that are inclusive and transparent.
We've come across and we've experienced communities welcoming us and telling us, you know what, in as much as you're doing this research, we would love to learn from you. And that's the birth, or that's where, we're able to create community-based, or, we're able to articulate how we'll engage with our communities.
We are driving conversations around data tech and how the digital spaces can be safe. So more people are coming on board. We are creating more strategic partnerships, and the community is also taking it up. When you see the various projects we are having, like the Vote Women project, where we are bringing on more women leaders to come and be trained on digital resilience. So I feel we are having a greater impact in the space.
When you look at Vote Women, it's collaboration with women leaders, and not just women in high echelons of power, but also women at the local level. When you look at the Digital Ambassadors Program, it's university students. So those collaborations speak heavily on the work that we do. But also when you look at, DataFest, it's a collaboration with academia, with civil society, with government entities, but also with last mile communities.
First of all, I'm proud to be part of the team that is creating change on the continent. And I applaud, I commend the work we are doing. And I call upon all the actors to join us in this discourse to craft better life experiences for all the communities, all the groups in Africa.
For people who've worked with us and communities who are still working with us to date, since day one, we see you. We will never not recognize you. Close it off really to center creatives and to recognize that we will not and we cannot be here spreading the gospel of inclusive technologies without the different approaches and mediums that they use to simplify some of these messages.